Okay, it is Friday afternoon. I've just been, I'm reading through some comments from past videos that I've done. And when I say past, the more recent, in the last month or so, there's been a lot of products released, as you know, from all the major manufacturers, and there's been some big driver releases, big marketing claims, and a lot of doubt and skepticism. We've spoke about this before, about whether or not it's justifiable to bring these products out, how much people question how much more of an advancement in technology has there been from previous models. A comment I'm reading here now, for example, go back to the TM, R9, R11, right up to the TM, M3 and M4, and you won't see much of a difference. Now, I'd argue differently. I think there is a difference, and that's often what I'll relay. And I've been conscious of the fact that I've been very positive about recent reviews and saying nice things all the time about products, but I genuinely believe, like I said, the not from one particular brand, right across the board at the moment, manufacturers are bringing out some really, really good product, and I think there have been improvements. So we're going to play a game anyway. Let's cut to the chase. Right now, I know that there's I'll just clarify, I just made a quick phone call. There's an R1 TaylorMade driver in the used rack at 4Golf Chester. I've asked them to keep it there till Monday morning, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a head-to-head of the R1 versus the what's the model name? I can't think of it. M4, and we'll see what the difference is. And the game is this, right now, make your decision. Both those people sort of for and against the argument. Who do you think, or what product do you think will come out on top? If I cast my vote now, I'm saying it will come out that the M4 will win hands down on all areas. We shall see. So I'll do a straightforward thing. Won't be a mass number of shots, but I'll do enough in there. If we can get the kind of swing speed the same, interesting to see then. Launch angle the same. See what we can do with ball speed. That's going to be an interesting one. We'll do the test, see which one comes out on top. So that's it. Got weekend off, play a bit of golf, then back in Monday morning. First test I'm going to do is going to be the R1 versus the M4. And we'll try and put this argument to bed, maybe. Who knows? See you Monday. Okay, so we're in 4Golf Monday morning. It is cold. I need to get warmed up. But before I do that, the first thing I've done is I've gone to the rack and I've found a more recent driver than what I said. The R1 I was going to test, but arguably someone would come back and say that's a little bit too old. So I found an R15, as the name suggests, from 2015, so just a couple of years old, and I'm going to put it up against the M4, right? Now then, as I said to you before, I've changed the deal a bit here. Which one is going to come out on top? How much change is there going to be in terms of technology in this thing? Who's going to be your winner? Because according to what I'm reading, ain't going to be no difference in these two clubs. That's what I'm hearing. That's what lots of people say in the comments. There's not going to be no different. So I'm going to pause the video right now. Make your decision in the comments box below. Okay, so you've made your comment. Remember that when we get to the end, because I'm going to make my comment now. I'm going to say that the M4 is going to outdo this by 15 yards plus. Whether or not dispersion, all the rest of it, we ain't going to be testing twist face, but in yardage, I'm going to, and overall performance and efficiency, this club is a far better, more advanced in terms of technology golf club than the R15. That's what I'm saying right now. Now, these two drivers couldn't be more suited. They're both, this is set up in neutral setting in the R15. It's 9.5 degrees standard. This is 9.5 degrees standard in terms of the M4. The shaft is the Speedster 57 stiff flex shaft. Again, the type of shaft very much that I would have been fitted for in this driver in its day. And we've got the Atmos Fujikura stiff shaft in the M4. I'm going to put them, I know without doing this test, I've seen ball flight and I've seen from my old drivers where this club is going, like to this M4 and others. This isn't to promote the M4, by the way. This is to see if modern drivers pack more of a punch in terms of technology than the R15. Now, I'm 100% confident, and I could be eating my words very, very shortly, that this M4 is going to outdo it in all kinds of different numbers. But it's not just what I see out there. TrackMan is going to tell me the numbers. Shot Tracer is placed behind me, so I'm going to throw up some visuals in terms of ball flight as well. And we'll see how this thing gets on in the head-to-head. Okay, so test done. And don't forget, these aren't the most scientific of tests. This is always subjective. But what I think that we're going to see very shortly in numbers is something that's kind of like, I think it's difficult to dispute, even at this like very amateur level of testing that we do as golf YouTube reviewers. Like I say, don't forget, this is all, it's still very, very much amateur, but it's what's happened, it's the results that have happened. It was a bit of fun as much as anything else, because I knew, or I felt I knew in the back of my mind that there was going to be an improvement in this club, and I felt quite a significant one. Like I said, you hit balls for a long time. I've played golf for 30 years, and you see what golf clubs do, and you know, what qualification do I have to review clubs? Absolutely zero. Other than the fact that I can see what happens with one club and I can see what happens with another club, and I have a brain to measure the difference. I don't need, and then I've got obviously something like TrackMan to hopefully back up what you think you're seeing at least. But anyway, let's get the numbers up. First of all, I think again, let's a couple of disclaimers. I'm not here to promote the M4 driver. I don't gain anything from selling golf clubs. It's not part of what I do. This isn't about promotion of the TaylorMade M4, because I feel that the same result would have happened if I'd used a number of drivers from a number of different manufacturers that have been released of late. So yeah, important that I say that, I think. So here's the numbers, let's get straight stuck in. R15 on the top, M4 on the bottom. As you can see, the one thing that we needed to get was, and I'm fairly consistent in swing speed once I get a kind of bit of a rhythm going, so warm up done. But this was brilliant because I didn't expect to get, we got 94.6 mile an hour average club head speed for both clubs. And the other interesting thing for me was the launch angle was 16.3 and 16.2. Two things that are, as I say, very, very close together for us to get a fair measurement between the two clubs. Now, the interesting thing for me with golf clubs has been, is about ball speed. Let's not talk about, we're not testing twist face technology, we're not tasting whether or not the G400 Max is the most forgiving driver out there on the market. We're looking at pure numbers in terms of head to head, and we got a ball speed difference there of 4 mile an hour. Which, if you look and read about, I mean, 4 mile an hour, people sort of comment, experts comment that 1 mile an hour extra ball speed will relate to 2 to 3 yards of extra distance. So in this case, it sort of bore out. We've got 227 carry on the R15, 240 carry on average with the M4. And again, rollout numbers being, again, always disputable, but 244 rollout and 264 with the M4, so as much as a potential 20-yard difference in rollout. Interesting thing there again for me is the numbers to be, well, they shouldn't grab my attention anyway. Same launch angle, but massively difference in spin again. A lot of the clubs of late, drivers I'm talking about, high launch but retaining a very low spin number. And in all the tests that I've done, even though I was swinging the club a little bit faster in terms of club head speed when I did the initial review of the M4, spin number remained very, very low throughout all the testing, which is mega impressive, and obviously ultimately will lead to this overall package in a longer golf ball. So the other point to mention, and I'm going to make a separate video about this, is the smash factor incredibly high in and above 1.5. Now a lot of people will comment about that. I've had 2 weeks of conversations with Trackman discussing this and the whys and wherefores, and all I will say, I'll do a separate video on the explanation of why we're achieving over a 1.5 smash factor with driver, and the explanation comes from Trackman themselves, so more than confidence enough in the numbers. It's a lot to do with the efficiency in translating club head speed into ball speed, and in particular with the TaylorMade TP5 as well, which is a real point of interest. So these clubs are, but don't forget, same ball used for both drivers, so we've got nothing to sort of query there. But like I said, a bit of fun. I don't know, I mean, you know, I'm not here to prove anything, I don't suppose. I just like to give information out that I can be confident in. So for me to go back and take a look at a driver that is arguably only a couple of years old, this certainly answers a question for me. If we put an M4 against last year's M2, would it have been different again? Probably the gap would be closer. But all I think this shows is that technology moves on. And I think that whether or not you choose to buy into the technology, you choose to buy into the marketing, and ultimately you choose to buy the product is obviously down to yourselves. But for me, as a golf club reviewer, I always want to give that information across to show as much as I can, to give you the best information I possibly can. So it was partly a bit of fun, and as I said, it will never be the most scientific, but the numbers are there for you to see. Take what you will from it. Hope you enjoyed the video as ever. I enjoyed making it. So thumbs up, comments down below, get another conversation going, and I'll see you soon. Don't know what we'll do next, but I'm sure some interesting things to come very, very soon on TaylorMade TV.